Today is a very special episode of Fuck Ups because we are recording on a phone. I don't know if anyone has achieved this level of production quality before, but this is truly cinematic.
78K MRR.
No, bro, we're not at 78 anymore.
You want to talk about what happened?
I was gonna literally say the same thing. I think I've told the story once or twice in some reels or some YouTube videos. Why don't you tell them?
Fair enough. Last time we spoke, we were at 78K. At least that was the that was the announcement in the vlog we did.
And we were.
We don't lie about our numbers.
For how many hours?
12.
12 hours.
Good 12 hours, bro.
Yeah.
The sushi was insane that night.
Give them context.
Yeah, so we hit 78K and we went out and spent like $300 on sushi.
And?
On sushi.
Yeah, sushi.
And then once we came back, that same night, we wanted to get rid of the most annoying client on the roster, which was paying us 6K a month at the time for 4 episodes. But we decided we'd had enough and we wanted to part ways. So I don't know if it was the sushi, but
No, it's just us feeling like, okay, now we have money. Like, this is what people call like fuck you money, right? Obviously, this is not fuck you money, but it's
far
like
from that, bro.
it's like 1/10 of maybe, not 1/10, 100th maybe of fuck you money. But we felt that way, where it's like, okay, we have enough to not give a shit. Like, man, this headache ain't worth how much it be paying us. You know what? I don't need it.
So then we mustered up the courage to send an email to this client saying, hey, obviously, we have different styles of working and, all your demands stretch the team out and we've decided that this can't be a healthy partnership in the long run. It just felt like a messy breakup going through it,
Yeah, because they didn't want us to part ways, and they were like, didn't see this coming from you guys. And they started, texting out through WhatsApp, etc. Like trying to pull like the bro card. Once we write an email, it's like a chick, right? You tell a girl, hey, I'm leaving. Now it's too late. Like, even if you want to change your mind, you can't.
You can't, even if you want to. Because you've said it. Now that you go back on your mind, she's not going to want to be with an indecisive guy.
Yeah, she'll be like,
what
the fuck? It probably doesn't apply one-to-one in business.
Somewhere honest. It does, bro.
Yeah, somewhere. That's why I bring it up, but probably not one-to-one, right?
I mean, for this guy, he obviously took it very personally. After that, he said he wanted to have a call and talk about why this has happened and how they could possibly remedy the situation.
I jumped on a Sunday. On a Sunday, I spoke to him.
So Sunday, what was it, IST? Like 8 a.m. or something?
Something like that. Crazy.
So anyway, the call happened and essentially they agreed to letting us fire them. I never thought I would say that. But yeah, we did. And
1 month notice.
1 month notice, which is still going on. Which is now a pain in my terrier.
Someone else's ass.
My ass, bro. I'm the one who has to deal with it.
Okay.
But anyway, that happened. After that, the client we signed in October of last year, which was at the time our highest ticket ever, 8K a month, decided that, hey, we're not worth the money anymore. Which was an expected churn. We foresaw it. I don't know, man, it's 4 a.m. My English is all over the place. But whatever, right? We saw it coming, basically. And it was for good reason, I think. It humbled us. Subah video called me from Vietnam. He's like, bro, did you see the email?
Was it Thursday?
Yeah. That was my Thursday, bro. My off day. But anyway. Okay. And the crazy part is one night before, I was speaking to Arthur and Arthur was like, I'm surprised they're still paying us because we haven't done shit for them.
No, make it sound better, man. We tried.
Okay, I just want to be very clear. We try our best on every client, and we really go above and beyond. Like, we've done things on the house. We've gone beyond podcasting for clients. Subah's been an EA for a billionaire for 2 days.
Bro, now as well.
Yeah, it still is. Subah's still on probation with him.
Yeah. Searching for podcast recording studios according to his travel itinerary in Norway.
Yeah. No, and his wife asked you whether he ate lunch. When he ate, his wife, the billionaire's wife asked Subah where he can eat lunch after the recording. Subah's like, I don't fucking know.
And then Croatia as well next.
Yeah, we have to figure out brand spots for him in Croatia because you can be too rich to make a reservation. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, this client worth 8K a month fired us for good reason, humbled us. After that, we had a little bit of a check-in call with the team. Got their reflections on it. I think the good part of it, and this reinstated the fact that we have top-tier talent working at Atomic, is that everyone took radical accountability. And everyone was like, yes, I could have done this. Because what happens is when you're putting everything you can for on one client, right, and you've been working on it for 6 months, 7 months with no results, there comes a slump, and you become prone to get lazy, and a little bit because you don't want to work on it anymore. You don't want to because you lose hope. You just don't think you can get this client results, right? So that did happen with us. We got lazy, and I think we just lost hope. So yeah, fair churn, saw it coming. After that, we asked if we can book an offboarding call with them, understand why they wanted to leave specifically, and obviously once that call happens, we'll pass it along to the team. And
that is tomorrow.
And once that happens, we'll pass it along to the team, get their views on it as well, and hopefully we'll have a lot more to improve on.
My one takeaway. Actually, a few takeaways. One is like, even when you want to give up, because we tried everything for this client, right?
Yeah.
And yet there was nothing working. And every time, like, I remember you coming to me several months asking me, like, dude, what do we do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what we can do beyond this. There's no idea. I have out of ideas. Even the playbooks we've been applying to other clients, some of those tactics just don't apply the same to this particular podcast.
And it's not like those tactics aren't good anymore, because at the same time we signed other clients, use those same tactics on them, and it worked beautifully.
It works well. So that's that. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. And the one takeaway I had is obviously, like, keep at it. Like, that's, don't just let it go. It's like, it's almost like we should have broken up with them when we were giving up. Yeah. That's actually a very hot take in a way. It's like when we thought we tried everything, you're not getting results, maybe then it's time to be honest and you and the relationship yourself, rather than letting them drag it on like a dying relationship. But maybe, they kept us for convenience, which is probably what happened. The other thing I want to quickly mention here is that we should have booked, and this is my major learning moving forward, is we should have booked recurring check-in calls. Now we do that for like all our clients, either bi-weekly or monthly. And I think that is something we should have continued on.
The reason, I don't know why we didn't do that at the time. Again, this shows how far we've come as a company in 9 months, 10 months. But I don't know why we didn't do that in hindsight.
I was scared.
Yeah, same. Because I feel like, when you're doing these weekly, bi-weekly check-in calls, the good part of it is that it keeps the team on their feet, right? Because they have to give an update every week or every month. They can't fuck up. So that's good. And we lost that accountability. We had no one to say like literally the only conversation we started having with that client was like, hey, I hope your weekend went well. Here's the invoice. Clear. You too. Best.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that should have been telling enough. Obviously, failure on my part as well, to not having been able to recognize it or not be able to action it. But I think there's just those times, these times come where you're like, I tried every trick in the book, right? And there's nothing.
Did we though?
In hindsight, we now have more tricks in the book.
Yeah,
right?
But looking
back then, whatever we had, we tried.
Yeah.
Like I started PMing this midway. Subah jumped into PM it the second month. I remember after the first month, results were so disastrous. We actually that was the only time we had the check-in call with the client. And we said, look, if
you want.
If we can give you an out of this contract, like we have a 3-month, that time we used to have 3-month minimum. We used to be.
Feel free to leave now, like we won't do anything.
We can refund the next month.
And the other thing, another reason why I felt like giving up with this client was because we messed up the start.
Yeah.
And that, in my own belief, because I've read and I've felt or seen that if you mess up the first week or the first month with the client, that impression lasts for a long time, and it's almost like you're trying to fight an uphill battle and you're going to lose. So that perception was already built in my mind after that call, that early call. So I'm like, well, they're going to churn anyway because they don't think highly of us because we fucked up at the start. Whereas when you don't fuck up at the start and you deliver results at the start, the opposite happens.
Exactly.
And now you're highly regarded.
Exactly. I mean, and that's thankfully since then every other client we've signed, we've been able to do that, which also allows us more say in the creative direction, right? Like we're a boutique agency for a reason. We sort of lost that from the get-go, and there was no way to get that frame back. Yeah, and the next churn, I'm too closely associated to this last.
But we can't talk about this one yet, in my opinion, because the contract has not been officially terminated.
Right, but you want to give context at least on what happened, because even if they don't churn, this is one of our highest tickets, but even if they don't churn, it is like
it's so confusing.
It's bizarre enough to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, this is another client. Now this is one that we have probably the best results for, I would say, across the board for end-to-end podcasting. It's not cheap. We've been charging them around 9.5 or 10 grand for 2 episodes in a month. And so it is definitely on the expensive side. But the results, and first of all, they have money. Like they have enough resources to be able to afford us. And that was clear. From the start, like their main thing was like, hey guys, show us the ROI, like give us the numbers, amplify the distribution. And that we did by more than what was expected. And I would say we definitely delivered what, like beyond expectations.
Just to give, sorry to interrupt, just to give you context on the difference we made. They were averaging 1,200 views an episode on YouTube before us. They're averaging 15k views an episode now.
Yeah.
15k organic. There's also inorganics with it, but whatever. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and all this time there was one partner interacting with us. Okay, and this partner was fine. It was not like, we liked each other. I would say sure we liked each other a bit, but it was more of a professional working relationship than, anything else. Now his boss, which is the actual host of the podcast several times. Obviously this partner was also the host a few times, but the big boss, let's say, the managing partner in this case, who apparently had probably even till today doesn't exactly know what we do. Okay, and then he decided to just check his bank account or his statements one day probably. This is my guess of what happened, so I'm paraphrasing. And he decided like, why the fuck are we paying 10 grand a month for 2 podcast episodes? I want to do 4. Does that mean I'll have to pay 20 grand? That's probably what he thought, because he had no idea what the SLA or the billing terms even were.
Fair.
You get what I'm saying? So now, one day, the original partner, not the managing big boss partner, right? The partner emails us saying, hey, can we reduce the shorts on the next few episodes? Because I believe the managing partner probably saw their statements and it's like, what? This doesn't make sense, right? Continue from here.
I also want to give some additional context. They decided to send this email after they raised an additional $275 million. And
give loose numbers so they don't get exact. Who we're talking about?
North of $200 million. After they raised north of $200 million, they decided to send us this email. And to announce that funding, they actually used one of our shorts to announce that funding. Isn't that funny? But anyway, the partner, as Subah was saying, the one who we had the sales calls with, onboarding with, sold to, and I think up until the last call, he was fairly pally with us. Like he was just like,
let's say there's the nice partner and the managing partner.
Right. So the nice partner sends us an email that say, we have a lot of episodes lined up and we want to reduce the total number of shorts, because obviously, the thing is, okay, they're doing all these shorts and there's these fancy animations and graphics and whatever. So if we just reduce the number there, it'll cut down the price dramatically. Unfortunately, that is not how podcasting works. Take it from someone who's built a top 15 tech podcast in 60 days. Sorry. But it's okay, fuck it. I can say it. Anyway, so then we just reply saying, okay, we want to understand where this is coming from, right? Because, taking a few shorts out of the contract isn't going to do a whole lot, because the way our contracts are structured are base plus per episode fee. So, Subah gives a diplomatic reply, and then the managing partner, who has no clue what is happening, has been hosting the podcast and just only sees our work when it goes live on YouTube. We've met this managing partner somewhere, right? And when we met him, he introduced us to
a contemporary
of a very large public tech company in the US, listed on NASDAQ. And into introducing us, he shook our hand and he said, meet these guys, the world-class podcast producers for clients like da-da-da-da-da. Whatever, let's not name them either. But anyway, that happened. So obviously, I don't know. I think he thought highly of us up until he found out what we were billing them every month. I think, we were world-class, man. So world-class podcasting comes with, not cheap prices, So that happened. He jumps into the email thread and he says, hey guys, look, I have these 4 episodes lined up and I don't want to spend, his exact words verbatim were, I have a lot of episodes lined up, not a lot of time to produce them, and don't want to spend too much money doing so. Very boutique of him. But, Subah, what did you reply after that?
Now it's just like, okay, well, tell us if it is, what exactly are you looking for? Are you looking to save your time or are you looking to save your costs? Because, he's still trying to beat around the bush.
Yeah.
He's saying he wants to save his team's time and not be explicit about the fact that he wants to spend less money, which is fine, I get it. So I just wanted to clarify that. And I'm like, if it's time that's the issue, then we can take on more of the review process and make it lightweight for you guys to review. That's easy, and maybe even do less shorts. So I gave him options like, hey, if we do less shorts, here's what the pricing would look like. And it's not much of a difference, right? Yeah. So that's what I replied with.
After that, he comes around saying, hey guys, look, I've spoken to top tier folks and I can be willing to do this, continue with you guys if I'm to pay $1,500 an episode flat. And then, we reply saying, so obviously $1,500 an episode flat is just not acceptable, but $1,500 per episode flat plus, a relationship we'd like to have saved, considering that he would be paying us the base, is, a conversation that could have, we could see ourselves having that conversation, right? So we just want to clarify, we're just like, hey, XYZ, you mean $1,500 per episode plus the base. After that, he replies almost instantly saying, when I say $1,500, I mean $1,500 flat per episode. This is the standard rate that's being charged. And then, what Subah replies with, and rightfully so, is that, look, what we're offering is, no one else in the valley or the world is really building that. And if they are, they either don't have the results we do, or they haven't worked with the clients we have. Mm-hmm. To which, again, he beats around the bush. He's like, guys, look, I don't have time. I don't have this. He's like, I'll circle back and all that. Long story short, they agreed to give us the next 4 episodes. We've already built them for it. And that bi-weekly podcast is now moving to a weekly cadence temporarily until they figure out whether they want to continue working with us or not. Obviously, if you've generated 2 million views across platforms. In 2 months for a podcast which was getting 1,200 views an episode, you don't expect to be having a pricing conversation 4 months down the line. I mean, it's almost just stupid, right? So it doesn't make any sense. Like, we already went ahead, made a case study with this client. We sent it to them. They said they love it. So
they love it, but don't use it.
Yeah, they said great case study, but only use if trying to close high ticket clients.
Fair, that's also like understandable.
Sure.
Don't help us, but okay, whatever. This is the one client where we've gotten the best results yet. And they're also well known, exactly. I can't point out the red flags in them, to be very honest with you, before this.
It's hard, right? Because
they've gotten us no referrals, no introductions, no nothing.
I mean, so much so that the managing partner we were communicating with, he's sort of a big deal globally, and Subah and I just started, when we were starting Chain Reaction, we were like, hey, he might make for a great guest.
But that's fine.
We reached out and he politely fucked us off.
But very politely. That was totally fine in my opinion,
Sure, but you have the results we do for him. Dude.
But I'm not sure he's even aware. He definitely isn't aware.
I mean, yeah, but somewhere it's like he has access to the YouTube, he's subscribed, right? He's obviously seeing the views we've brought in.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's drinking his own Kool-Aid and he's thinking that, it's just his podcast.
We should mention the AI part.
AI part.
Yeah, so part of the while we were going so much back and forth, he basically said that, after Subah said that, look, here are the total list of services we offer and this is what we do every week. Every month for you guys. He says, look, most of this stuff can be automated by AI now. And then he talks about...
your competitors are dropping pricing and, something like that. You guys might not be getting a full picture of what's going on. Competitors are dropping pricing. AI is front-loading or making it easier, like a lot of the tasks that traditionally took a lot of human hours. And 3, something else.
Some other bullshit. I don't know. I don't even want to remember at this point. But what he failed to realize is that at the end of the day, AI will still be the catalyst, right? It won't be able to deliver the final product. I mean, if it were, then, fire me.
No, I mean, it'll be still good.
Yeah, true. Regardless, I think, I don't know what to take away from this, because it's like, okay, we got these guys' results. The podcast we created visually looks beautiful, right? We had our best talent working on it. So sometimes I think it's just a thing of like, one door shuts, the other is bound to open, or will hopefully open. This might be one of those things, or at least I hope this is one of those things. And it can also, the other takeaway I had from this was that someone who's so accomplished, referring to the managing partner here, someone who's so accomplished, so well-to-do, can yet be completely oblivious to how much work it takes to actually building a world-class podcast.
Might just be unaware.
Yeah, but I mean...
Unaware, but what is difficult to understand is why try to haggle with the system that's working? Why is that worth his time? That's the main question.
The other thing that actually surprised me is that, look, we're not trying to toot our own horn here, but every client we take on, apart from a few exceptions, they instantly become winning formulas, right?
I just remember the third point.
What was it?
Everyone seems to want to be associated with their brand.
Yeah, so again, because there is north of 200 million, now they think there's a hot chick in the valley, right? Which, well,
nobody gets.
I can debate, but anyway.
Yeah. Tooting our own horn.
So I don't want to toot our own horn, but look, every client we sign on, or almost every other client we've signed on, basically spirals into this winning formula in terms of what the podcast brings for them. And if the only change is between the timelines of the podcast being a winning formula or being an important lever for them and not being an important lever for them is atomic growth, then they should open their eyes and face reality, right? Because I mean that's why we're worth what we are. Obviously, it feels disrespectful him haggling after the kind of shit we've done. Like,
also, this is not haggling.
Yeah.
The haggling is like, slightly reducing the price.
Exactly.
But you're essentially asking us to quarter our price. You might as well fire us. Exactly. And guess what? He didn't even know that he can't fire us without a notice, which is just embarrassing.
And the crazy part is that the SLA has a signature.
His signature?
Yeah, he's
not on the partners.
He signed it, but this guy CC'd on the signature request.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, I don't want to talk about them. It sounds like a huge rant, right?
Yeah.
Basically, TLDR, a client, even though you do everything for them, like in terms of results, I would say our best results, they can still, decide to fuck you off.
Some things you can't change. And it also shows like you got to be hedged.
Always. Even for them, we need to check and call Vihaan.
Yeah.
To gauge where they're at.
Exactly.
Like with one of our other clients recently, we had a check and call. We thought everything is fine, but actually he was discontent about one thing. Yeah. So we had to place more emphasis on that. So you really get like a temperature, like a thermometer check, Yeah,
but then again, right, if you're in my spot, right, and you've built like whatever, this show that no one knew, right, which had whatever, Zuckerberg on, and then after that it sort of went to shit.
And you would assume you're fine, but I guess that assumption is wrong. I guess that's the assumption that we can't.
That's the assumption that's wrong, right? Because, in hindsight, you think everything is hunky-dory until you speak to them.
Yeah. So that's that. But since then, I feel like this was very much needed. Imagine, what if our trajectory was from whatever. Oh, yeah, Bangalore found out 77K. And then, we just closed another client, 90K. Life's great.
Dude, I remember I got lazy those 10 days.
Yeah, great.
I didn't get lazy, but I got a bit slow. I was like, I don't have to do this today. I don't have to take this meeting today. I don't have to do this today. This can be done.
On sales initiatives as much.
Yeah, we weren't pushing.
The moment we were in danger with the first client churning, the $8,000 a month one, which was very well deserved and very well that was something we could predict and see coming. We're like, great, okay, I saw this coming. Anyway, now money's not going to be in the bank. Well, I've got to push on sales. In that moment, I started launching campaigns. Yeah. I launched a whole LinkedIn campaign that is doing somewhat decent so far.
Early. It's very early.
And then we had another person, we hired a cold email agency that hasn't even started yet. But more than that, our referrals, I believe, started kicking in again. And our old sales methods. I believe you doubled down on the hyper-targeted outreach. And we actually got 2 referrals again, I believe.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, both the clients in the pipeline are 2 referrals, and I believe it's too early to say. But
both from the same client. Both in a way.
And let's hope that those 2 close well, but I am confident about them. So that is where we are at.
Bro, I was confident about these guys also.
I know, but you've got to be optimistic, or we might as well just go sleep. Good night.
You should sleep. It is
4:30.
Almost 4:30. The best hustle period in my life was about 25K.
Yeah.
Coming down to 25K. Because we fell from 40K to 25K. This is July of last year. We fell from 40K to 25K in 1 month. Not even 1 month, in 2 weeks. And Subah just gave me a raise then. And I was like, dude, will these guys still be able to afford me?
Shit.
I have to go back and work at a family office.
No. But here we are. We've got to...
No, I did think that.
Yeah.
And then we signed one. I was like...
That's every month, dude. Every month we're just like... It's like we're either dying or surviving, and then next month we're on top of the world, and then we're crashing down. But it's like...
Agency
the graph. And generally over the long timeline, hopefully it's going up. Yeah. Hopefully we hit the million ARR and sustain that this year for at least 3 months cash in hand in the bank.
Yeah, and the thing that I think we were naive about, I remember discussing this with you, we were naive about this a month back or 2 months back, was that when we thought 83K MRR, we were just doing simple math and we were $1 million ARR, we'll exit, right? What we didn't realize is we need 83K cash collected. There'll be some months where your clients are late on paying, Sometimes delivery timelines cannot be met logistically, not because it's the team's fault. They just logistically cannot be met. So 83K cash collected really means 90K to 95K. And I would say 95K is also super ambitious. 100K in MRR is really...
83K cash in hand.
And yeah, 83K is pushing it as well, I would say. But yeah.
Not too far.
Not too far. I mean, that's the one benefit to being boutique also, right? And having higher ticket prices. We're not playing the volume game.
It's good. It's just like 3 more clients. We're done.
Bro. 15K a month.
15.8.
a month, bro. That used to be total MRR once.